Hey fellow beaders, it's Bead Stash Sunday and I have another tutorial for you. And in this one, what I'm going to do was basically show you the alternative to this bracelet. So this was our Wild Wednesday bracelet that I showed you how to make, and I used the 2-hole triangle bead as the wild bead here. Now in this tutorial, I switched out the 2-hole triangle for super duos. And I showed you how to, and I'm showing you how to make earrings instead of a bracelet, but it's really none of the steps have changed. So if you wanted to make a bracelet, you can. The only thing you're doing is instead of using triangles, you're using super duos. Nothing else really changes. So you can go back and watch this video if you want to make the bracelet. And again, just wherever I say triangle, use super duo. So now to make the earrings, you won't need as many material items. So, you know, this is the stash, so what's in your stash kind of thing. So what you'll need is, again, an 8mm bead. So you'll need 2 of those, 1 per earring. You'll need 2 drops. So I've got, I don't have them out here in my pile, but this is optional. But if you got a drop bead, then those would be great, or you can create your own dangle. I'm just taking out a couple more of my drop beads here. So 2 of those. You'll need super duos. So I needed only 8 super duos, 4 per earring. You'll need 11 O's here. And you'll need, so instead of bicones, so in this one I used bicones. I used 4mm bicones as the bead. I switched it to fire polish. So that's the other option you have, is that you can switch it to whatever 4mm bead you have. So I bet this would look really cute with pearls too, if you had some pearls. So you will need a total of 15 or 30 for the pair, 15 per earring, of a bicone or a fire polish or a pearl, a druck, whatever you got that's 4mm. It's more about the size than the shape in this case, and all of those will work. And of course you'll need some ear wires and a couple ear wires, and depending on the ear wire you're using, you'll also need some jump rings. The particular ear wire here, it doesn't fit across my 11O beads, and so I use jump rings, so it helps it sit better in the earring, and I can close off these little loops. But if you have a different type, then you don't have to worry about that. Well, alright guys, well, I hope you liked this tutorial and that I've given you another alternative, and I will, well, let's just get started, okay? So we are going to begin our earrings by picking up fire polish, 11O, fire polish, super duo. And then we're going to repeat and pick up the same set of beads 3 more times. So it's again, fire polish, 11O, fire polish, super duo. So go ahead and pick up 4 sets of those beads, and then you're going to tie them into a circle. And make sure the thread is not getting wrapped around any of the beads. That's what I was doing there. Okay, so this is what you should have. Should look like this. So go ahead and take your needle and go through the closest fire polish. So my knot is right here. I'm going to go ahead and go into the fire polish, then the 11O and the fire polish, the next fire polish. I'm going to pick up 5 11O beads. And go back through the same set of 3 beads that I just went through. So it's again fire polish, 11O fire polish, and we're going to make a loop around these beads. And this is what you're going to get. So you want that loop to kind of push it towards the center and keep the thread tight. Then go through the super duo, and we're going to go through these our next set of beads here. So it's going to be, again, the set is through the super duo, then through the fire polish, 11-0 fire polish, and we're going to pick up 5 more 11-0s, and go back through just those 3 beads, so not the super duo. And again, make sure your tension is tight. Push the loops towards the center. Go through the super duo and then continue on to our next set of 3 here. Pick up 5. Go through just the 3, again, not the super duo. And this is what you're going to be getting. Go through the super duo, and now we're going to come out and put a loop around this last set of 3 here. Pick up 5. And go back around. And that's what you should have so far. So go into the first 3 11-0s in this loop, and we are going to connect all the loops together by the middle bead. So what I'm going to do is take the middle bead in this next loop and go through that, and the middle bead in this 3rd loop over here, and pull it all together. Go through the middle bead in the 4th loop and connect that to the middle bead of the 1st loop here where we started. And you're going to give that everything a nice tug, and then go back through all the beads to reinforce. Okay, so that's what you're going to have. If the beads are turning or they're overlapping each other, don't worry about it. We will fix that in a second. But this is what you're going to get. And then what you're going to do is go up the closest 2 side beads. So I'm exiting out of this middle bead. I'm going to go up into these. And I'm going to get my tail tugged out of the way. Now what you're going to do is go into the fire polish and then exit out of your 11-0 bead. Then pick up a fire polish, 11-0, fire polish, and go back through this 11-0. And just like so. Reinforce by going back through all these beads again. Just like that, and go back up the fire polish, and then the 11-0, pick up 6 or 5 more 11-0 beads and go back around this 11-0 here. just like that. And we got our little circle. Reinforce this circle now. And like that. You can go ahead and do it one more time. So I think I might just do it once more. Now I'm going to work my way down. So I'm going to go down the Super Duo, or sorry, Fire Polish, not Super Duo. And through this 11-0. Now we're going to continue down, and we're going to come out of this opposite fire polish over here. So I'm just going through the beads, not doing anything else. Okay, so I made my way down. Pick up 3 11-0s, your fire polish, another 11-0, the drop bead, bring those down, pick up one more 11-0, bring that down, skip the 11-0, go back up through the drop bead, the next 11-0, and the fire polish, and then one more 11-0 bead. So make sure you pull any slack that's in the thread. So if you can see what I'm doing is I'm holding on to this 11-0 here and then pulling and making sure there's no slack in the thread. Now what I'm going to do is pick up 2 11-0s, and I'm going to go, so I'm exiting out of this Super Duo and went down this way. So now I'm going to go to the, I keep saying Super Duo, sorry, fire polish here. I'm exiting this, I started off with exiting this fire polish, and then I added these beads and I came back up. So now to create the little V that I want in the earring, I'm going to go to the opposite fire polish. And so there, now that's created our little V for the earring. And give it a good tug. Gets rid of the slack and it makes this look more like a V. Now what you're going to do is, I went through this fire polish and I also went through the Super Duo. So now I'm going to go into the upper hole of the Super Duo. And I'm going to pick up some 11-0 or one 11-0, a fire polish, and another 11-0, and then I'm going to go into my next Super Duo over here. So just that, you know, the open hole of that Super Duo. And I'm going to repeat this. So you can again pick up an 11-0, our fire polish, and another 11-0. Go into this next Super Duo. $11 fire polish, 11-0. The next Super Duo here. And last time. 11-0 fire polish, 11-0, go through the Super Duo, and then continue onward with the 11-0 and this fire polish over here. Just like that. So, You know, it's funny, like I find myself moved over, but probably in the camera range, it looks like I've moved quite a bit, but it's not more than maybe an inch or so of shifting my hands. Okay. All right, we're almost done. Now that you're exiting this fire polish, pick up your 8mm bead, bring it down. It's going to pop in the middle here. You're going to go into the fire polish that's directly opposite. You want to keep the tension very tight here. So I'm actually holding the beads in place till I get through them. Then go back through the 8mm bead again. And then back through the fire polish. So we went through the fire polish from this direction. Now I'm going to go in from this. Excuse me. So the big reason you want to hold on to the beads and make sure your tension is really good is because you're going to have threads showing if you don't. So I'm going to go back through the beads again now. So I'm exiting the fire polish, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything up by going through it again. And see, it made a big difference in, you can't see the slack of thread. And I just want to fix this little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my 8mm again. Then through the fire polish up here. Back down through the 8mm. And back through the fire polish at the other side. And then through some of these beads here. All right, and we're done. Okay, so then this next part, we're just gonna tie some 1/2 inch knots. So I'm exiting this 11-0, so I'm gonna tie a knot between that and the fire polish there. Made my loop. And I wanna make sure the loop is gonna stay where it's supposed to stay. I went through the loop, took my needle through it, and there's the first knot. Continue on. I'm going to make another one up here. And then just going through the beads, so, oh, don't want to skip the 11-0. And making one last knot. Go through the fire polish and 11-0 and then the super duo. And I'm just weaving the thread away, so I'm going into these opposite hole or the other hole of the super duo and into fire polish here. Don't want my thread getting caught on anything. Through some more beads and I should be ready to cut the thread. Grab my scissors. I'm going to cut that, and there's the tail. I'm going to grab my tools here and add in the jump ring. Feed the earring through, and then the ear wire. And you don't necessarily need a jump ring, it just depends on the type of ear wire you have. Okay, and there it is. I think these are a nice, cute little pair of earrings. And I was able to show you an alternative to the other bracelet. Or to the four corners bracelet, I should call it. So these are my alternative four corners earrings. So there's our back. And there's the front. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.